What's up, everybody? Well, I got another FIREBAT mini PC gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're gonna try that Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition game out. So far, it's been running great on everything, so hopefully it'll run great here too, but that 4 gigs of VRAM might still screw us over even on this game. But hey, let's hop on into the game and let's go find out. Alright, we're gonna try out some 1080p here, and at first I actually thought this was gonna work just fine, but unfortunately, after we played for like 4 minutes or so, it started doing that stupid stuttery crap that it tends to do when it's getting out of VRAM. Or maybe it was overheating or something like that. But either way, I decided to try to drop the resolution and whatnot and just do our normal thing. With a slight twist. Well, here we are in the game. I remembered to save this time after beating this dang thing, so we do not have to fight the damn orcs again. But yeah, started off pretty good. But as time went on, like right towards the end, it started stuttering, and I'm glad it did. Otherwise, I would have gotten into the camera recorded portion and been like, oh, what the hell? It was running good before. Why is it stuttering all of a sudden? Lame.
As good as a new penny.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Sicil. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. Behold, there we are.
Huh. I could have sworn I saw a cat that looked just like that in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think it's necessary a dude that could turn into this, but that cat looked just like it. I think it even had the same name. Could be wrong on the name part, but I could have sworn it did. Well, who knows? I mean, same people made this game, so it could have just been like an homage or something to this kitty, dude. Who knows?
It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead.
Where can I find the scene of the crime, my good sir?
Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Sicil proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed. But to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunt. Once you're there, just take the stairs. But do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door.
Alright, yep, see, here's how it's already starting to do that shit.
Without speaking to the de facto leader of Sicil. And with that,
Yeah, and at least the CPU is not getting that high. I know 80 sounds really hot, but it's really not for these kind of chips. Now, if you start getting up into the 90s, I think that starts to be about this thing's limit. I think this thing's like will start throttling at 95 or something like that.
Sex
Not that you'd want it to get that hot, but...
Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
Now, what I tried to do is I thought, oh, well, this game's pretty easy to run everything else, so let's just try leaving the settings alone and just dropping the resolution, but unfortunately that did not solve the stuttering problem. But still, let's go move on to that and get some of that gameplay now. Well now, here's the settings we'll go with now, 900p, just leaving the rest of the settings basically alone. But that was still a little too overzealous. There must be some setting here that it just doesn't like, so you get much better playable FPS if you just put stuff on medium and put a lot of other stuff off. Alright, well, here we go. We did seem to get a slight uptick in FPS, but it did not solve the frame time skippage. And it's saying we're only using 2.1 gigs of RAM, so I don't know if that's really the VRAM's issue or not. But it also doesn't seem like it's overheating, so I don't know what the hell's up its butt.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my hands.
Really wished I could get Windows to just let me do the 8 gigs like it's supposed to be. But yeah, didn't really feel like getting another 4 or 5 minutes of this kind of stuff while it's still stuttering around like crazy, so we'll get a little bit more gameplay here, and then we'll move on to 720p, where I did put it to medium settings and turn some of the other stuff like God rays off and whatnot.
Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation?
Alright, so here we go. We're on 720p now, medium settings instead. But I did turn a couple things up and disabled pretty much everything in the post-processing department. But why don't we now hop in the game and let's see how it does now. Well, here we go. 720p. And it still does have a little bit of a frame time issue, but it seems to have evened out a little bit. It's definitely not as noticeable now. I could actually play like this now. Searching, 100%. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot more FPS too. Obviously, it probably doesn't look very good blown up like this, but on a more reasonable sized screen, it probably wouldn't look too bad.
It's locked.
Legion's greetings. I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. But never shall I lose heart. Long as...
So that item interests you, yes? I can let you have it for a very reasonable price indeed. Lords above, I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer. So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger, and you believe them? These... Well, what do you want to know?
Alright, let's take our leave.
About her innocence.
And also, why don't we move on to a little camera? Well now, let's get ourselves a little camera reported gameplay now. Still haven't found that one dude I was supposed to talk to. I figured one of these two was them, but... Nope.
Let's see. Carrot, cheese, tomato.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
May the 7 keep you.
Alright, so I can't do anything with him yet. Gotta learn how to talk to animals first.
Peace be with you, traveler. May your lot. I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter Loni. But when the undead played, Loni never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, she was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies. And here I stand, mourning the death of my last joy.
You there! A moment of your indulgence.
I can only spare but a moment, so...
No, scratch that. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I saved lives, to be sure, but today I change them. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better, to become the full
Of course I do. How could someone in my profession not?
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
See here, you and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of...
Well, I can't say that I haven't.
Yes, some extra gold.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Even so, my friend, matters of a
It's better to lead than to...
Better to be served.
well spoken. And that is exactly why I am here.
All right.
Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab. So that... the fabulous five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers guild in Riverlong. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize our dreams and cleanse our souls. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, what a gem of a question. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five, and thereby draw by now the genial glow of the fellowship, work hard. Fulfill contract.
You baron.
I am a duke. Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort to concern myself?
Stop right there. Stop right there. Until...
I'm still trying to find your dang captain. Is this him? No, that's a citizen. Who are you?
Ah, pointless chatter. How curious of you to show interest in a lonesome stranger at the bar. Can I tell you? I suppose I can. And I could.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging your favorite?
Alright, so we gotta find that dude and talk to him first. But I guess I can do that when we get to that small form factor PC. So, let's go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition, and seemed to play alright, but I thought that for a couple minutes and then it started doing that stutter crap. Heck, we played for 4 minutes and it started doing that. I thought we were gonna go, oh, another one that can actually just play 1080p on Ultra? Wow, this thing almost can never do that. And then, yeah, I was right, it can't. But I think if you just have like medium settings at 900p instead of doing what I did this time, I figured, oh, well maybe if I just drop the resolution this time, instead of putting it down to medium at 900p, it'll be fine. And while we did pick up some FPS, it still dropped under 60 at times and did the weird stutter crap. So I think if we just did medium settings in 900p, it'd be fine. And obviously if you just want lots of FPS, you could just go with low. But then of course that does heat stuff up quite a bit. The processor was still getting pretty hot when you do that. So probably better to just limit the FPS to something more like, you know, 80 to 90. Probably be plenty for a game like this in my opinion. Or if you have a TV like this that only does 60, doesn't do you any good to go over 60 in a game like this unless you're alright with screen tearing. I hate screen tearing personally, but that's just me. Some people don't even bother by it and don't even notice it. Anyway though, that is all I got for you guys for this particular video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.